back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
What is up, full time family? It is good to be back. You know that feeling when you think your internet is shut off, but really it's just cocks working on the internet? Like, our shit was supposed to get cut off today, right? But fuck it, unless we pay it, of course. But last night I went to make, I was about to upload like 5 videos and shit, bro. I went to do that, internet not working. I'm like, no. Did I fucking wake up today and I see my shit's back on, so it is fucking on and popping. Let's get started with the current UFC welterweight champion, Tyron Woodley. He's saying Stephen Thompson is today's John Fitch, and he's also saying that he still believes Nate Diaz. He said if he were to bet the house on it, he thinks Nate Diaz will be his next fight. Holy crap, there's a lot to talk about with this. For one, when he says, let's start to talk about Stephen Thompson being today's John Fitch. At first, when I saw the headline, I thought he was taking shots at Wonderboy, like calling Wonderboy boring low-key, because we all know John Stitch got that rap, being a wrestler, being a dominant wrestler. He got the lay and pray rap as a boring fighter. But, so that's essentially what I thought he was saying when I just saw the headline. Tyron Woodley says Stephen Thompson is today's John Fitch. But he's actually giving him props somewhat, you know what I'm saying? John Fitch from 2005 to 2010 beat everybody not named George St. Pierre that he fought. He's in Tyron Woodley saying, I believe Stephen Wonderboy Thompson can beat everybody in the division not named Tyron Woodley. That's why he's today's John Fitch, because I think he can, he said, I think he can beat RDA, he can beat Lawler, he can beat Maya, he can beat all of these guys, but he can't beat me. John Fitch was beating everybody, but he couldn't beat George St. Pierre. So that's what he's saying when he's comparing Stephen Wonderboy Thompson to John Fitch. First, I was like, oh shit, he's calling Wonderboy boring. He's working for the trilogy. He just said Wonderboy ain't got no left nipple. No, I'm just fucking around. But he was actually giving Wonderboy credit, and he's got a good point. A very, very good point. There's nobody in the welterweight division not named Tyron Woodley except for maybe Darren Till that I see giving Wonderboy a fight right now. You can. Not even Kobe Covington. Fuck out of here. He's a dominant wrestler. Or maybe Kamaru Usman. I would take Kamaru Usman and Darren Till. I wouldn't take him to beat Wonderboy. But as far as the best welterweights out there, Darren Till and Kamaru Usman are two of the only ones I really see giving a good fight to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson at this point. Because hear me out. Robbie Lawler, more of a brawler or a striker. Not a good matchup against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. And Robbie Lawler just lost to Rafael Dos Anjos. Somewhat of a strike. He's a very well-rounded fighter, but he's a smaller fighter. I don't think he's beaten Wonderboy Thompson. Not RDA. It's Damian Maia. He's going to have to get through to... First, he's going to have to get through to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and then maybe wrap on his back like Jorge Masvidal. But Stephen Thompson's bigger than Jorge Masvidal, so it would be a very tough fight for Damian Maia, and I just would pick Wonderboy Thompson. So there's not a lot of people today that can beat Wonderboy, and a lot of people wouldn't take Kamaru Usman and Darren Till because they haven't fought the same names. You need to see them fight more than who they fought so far, but it's hard for them to get fights, as we can see. Darren Till's been looking for a fight, and Kamaru Usman in the top 10, top 5. No one's been taking the fight as of yet. So, Tyron Woodley does make a very good point, especially in the top 5 of the welterweight division. Now, when he talks about Nate Diaz being his next fight, he says, I think there's a strong possibility that Nate Diaz could be my next opponent. The UFC tried to put that fight together before UFC 219, and they just weren't able to come to terms with Diaz. But Nate was definitely interested. The UFC already knows I'll accept the bout, so they just have to make a deal with him. They don't have to ask me. Now, this fight actually, whenever it was first announced, I was like, what the fuck are we even talking about? Now it makes more sense. This fight makes a lot more sense. Tyron Woodley versus Nate Diaz could happen. Let me tell you why. How long has Nate Diaz been out? Since UFC 202, a long time. Who knows? We know he's still been at least in the gym training, but we don't know if he's been training enough, you know, as far as being active enough. We know he rides bikes and does all of this shit. I'm not saying he's turning into fucking Rampage out here. What I'm saying is Nate Diaz might not be trying to cut to lightweight in his next fight, in his first fight back from a fucking 2-year, 1-year hiatus. He might be trying to fight at welterweight, and the biggest fight at welterweight is, of course, Tyron Woodley. Now, we know Tyron Woodley would take that fight, as he said, but you have to recall Dana White called fake news on this fight. Dana White said, no, we never offered that fight to either one of them. That was some rogue lawyer playing matchmaker. And I was like, what? Nate Diaz and Tyron Woodley are confirming it, and you're saying like a lawyer was playing matchmaker, I guess. So Dana White did deny this fight was even offered, but at the same time, who is Nate Diaz going to fight? A lot of us believe it's going to be Conor McGregor. If he didn't want to take the title fight versus Tony Ferguson, people say he's been offered Khabib 3 times, Ferguson twice. He's been offered Edson Barboza, said Dana White. He's been offered other guys in the top 5. Nate Diaz has pretty much been offered over 5 or 6 fights and turned them all down, according to the UFC president Dana White. So, but now, hear me out. I thought Nate Diaz was holding out for Conor, but what's been going on lately? Floyd Mayweather's been stepping into a fucking MMA cage. He's been stepping into an octagon. Even if Floyd's not coming over to the UFC, he's keeping his name relevant and in the Conor McGregor sweepstakes. And I believe Conor McGregor, if it's out of Nate Diaz and Floyd Mayweather, he'll probably take the Floyd rematch. And honestly, if we're ever going to see a Conor Floyd rematch, it's going to have to be sooner rather than later, because Floyd's already like 41, 42. And, you know, he's not going to take we can't wait 3 years for the Floyd-Conor rematch. It's going to have to happen sooner rather than later with his age. So Conor might want to take the Floyd match next. And if that is the case, Nate Diaz is going to have to take at least one more fight. You know, we've been waiting and waiting. We went through bike season. We went through call-out season. Shit, everybody called him out in the bad way. Then he said, you guys got to be nice and ask me. Then we had people asking him nicely. Then he said, fucking, I'm going to boxing. Then he said, I'm coming back May or June. Nate Diaz has just been stringing everybody along for what? Maybe to keep his name relevant in the Conor McGregor sweepstakes, because if you're just out here quiet, you ain't going to be relevant. So, I mean, that's what I've been going at. Maybe he's just trying to keep his name relevant, but Tyron Woodley is saying that if you would have had to bet the house on it, Nate Diaz is his next opponent. It actually makes sense now with this Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor shenanigans coming back up. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G.